If not, you're making things happen to you rather than creating the change yourself.
Okay.
And I believe now, I started off as a Labour voter, inherited that from my parents, because like many people coming from the Caribbean, a lot of us came to this country and then we fell almost into Labour, because Labour was seen as the party, the socialist party that looked after especially immigrants coming to this country for the first time. And I believed in the socialist ideals and the values of Labour, and understood the power and how unions supported the working man as well. And I supported that. But you see, we moved forward to where we are and realised that they created this new machine called New Labour. And so when New Labour came about, and that was really, I suppose, started with Neil Kinnock started the move, and then it was carried on, of course, by Tony Blair. But this New Labour had to, I suppose, after being out in the political wilderness for sort of 12 years, it felt it had to make itself electable again. And so it wanted to create this New Labour that was not seen as such a working class party. It had to appeal to the big money people of the city. And I believe that's where we started to lose our soul as Labour people. And I really started to move away from Labour, and my big move was when I objected, and I was very much against the decision to go to war. Right. And that's what made me decide. My heart went from Labour, but my body did not go at the same time, because I think in any decision you make it, you internalize it first before you externalize it and move from there. But internally, my heart left, and what really saddened me was my own MP of Tottenham voting to go to war, both based on the evidence that was presented at that time. And I was then, I suppose, moving towards becoming, I suppose, my first move towards being an independent voice.
Okay then. I just want to ride on that a little bit now. As an independent for Tottenham, how realistically is it, you reckon, to be elected in Tottenham? I mean, because we need to, because I mean, you've got all the charisma, you've got all the passion, and it's not just about you're a people's person, right? But as you know that when you launch your campaign, it takes finance, money, you know what I mean, right? But what I'm trying to spell out here is that can you see yourself being elected in Tottenham?
There's never been a better time now than now. I just only have to look at the and I say the seeds of hope that I draw and I draw from is Barack Obama.
Right.
I think if all of us are honest with each other, if we went back 2.5-3 years, how many of us could have foreseen a black president of the United States of America?
Right.
In truth.
Yeah.
It's very easy now to say maybe, but he came from virtually nowhere in 2 years and became president of the United States. Now, if he can break this ground, what stops Neville Watson, independent, prospective member of Parliament for Tottenham, winning at the next general election? I can win. I can win because the people are fed up with self-serving politics.
Right.
The people now need a voice.
Right.
They want someone today who no longer just serves the party, but serves the people.
Yeah.
And if we move away from party politics and get back to people politics, which it should be, which it was in the days before money got into politics. That's what it was. People didn't get paid in those days. You did it as a passion, you did it for your love of your community and your love of your people. If we can get back to that ethos, people will understand they're voting for somebody now who truly represents their views, who will take their views to the House of Commons, who will stand and support their views and will put them before the party. Because, you see, we have a whip system in this country, and it's the whip of every party that controls how you think. Now, if you want to just keep that same system of party whips and party line and follow what the party does, then you vote for the traditional parties. If you feel it's time for change, and I'm going to go back, being an independent is not new. George Washington served 2 terms as an independent, and many people didn't know that, and it was answered correctly on your show recently. We have in the House of Lords, the higher house, we have over 183 independents. People they need to understand that being independent is not new. and they're called crossbenchers in the House of Lords, but they're independent. Yeah, they add skill and expertise to decisions made. When decisions have to be passed through and stamped by the House, many independent. In fact, independents in the House, they're the second highest grouping after Labour. Independents. And right now, you know, we have Dr. Richard Taylor, who's an independent, and we had Martin Bell, the BBC war correspondent, who's an independent as well. So people at times, when they had enough, people will do something.
In fact, I want to follow on the reasoning there, because I mean, one time you pointed at something very, very powerful, right? When you said that the things that people say they don't vote. But yet again, if you look at programs like X Factor and these other different programs, right?
Yeah.
People come out and vote.
Yeah.
So not they don't vote, it's what they're voting for. You understand what I'm saying,
Yes,
brother? Totally. So it's a question really, what they're really voting for and the value of why they're voting for. And to me, that's very, very important, you know?
Yeah.
You know? This leads to another question quite neatly. Dave Lammy, you know, I mean, how do you see Dave Lammy at present now as Harrogate MP?
David Lammy was, and how I see David is like this. David Lammy was given a baton. If we can liken this and use the analogy of a relay race, because that's what it is. He was given a baton to carry on the work by a great man of Tottenham, someone who, in some quarters of the Labour Party, was not liked, and that's why, you know, the great, you know, late Bernie Grant didn't get a ministerial seat in the Labour Party. However, he was a man who truly had his heart in the people, and the people and him, there was an affinity, and he had an empathy with the people of Tottenham. David Lammy was given this baton to carry on the work and move it forward, like, you know, like our forefathers. It's for the next generation to move everything forward. What we have to ask ourselves: has David moved the cause of Tottenham forward since the days of David Lammy? Since the days of Bernie Grant, excuse me. Now, I look at it that he was given that baton, and then, like any relay, he then dropped the baton. But what he did, he dropped the baton in favour of party politics. He decided that he did no longer want to run that race, the people race. He wanted to run the party race. And the party race, so he had to run a new race. So then he dropped the baton of the people and picked up the baton of the party. And then he started to run that race. And it's in that race that he's been quite successful by getting ministerial seats. But I question his success. He's been the most moved about politician in years. He's had probably 4 or 5 different seats. He's been, obviously, and sadly, he's failed on many of them, including when he did Mastermind recently and only acquired 13 points when his chosen subject was Muhammad Ali, and he knew very little about his chosen subject. But anyway, that's another story. But David is a man who has chosen the path of career. That's okay. But it doesn't fit an MP for Tottenham. It doesn't fit a representative of Tottenham. It would certainly fit, and I've said this before, and I quote, and I know that the Voice newspaper picked this up, it would fit somewhere like, I suppose, somewhere in Surrey, somewhere in Westminster, you know, one of those very, those seats out in Kent. He would be a perfect politician for a place like that. But he doesn't truly grasp the enormity of the role he has in Tottenham. And he doesn't have the communication and the ability to communicate with the people of Tottenham. And he certainly doesn't empathise with the people of Tottenham. And for me, it's so important today for an MP to truly represent the people that elected you.
Well, Neville, I really admire your honesty and your clarity on the whole situation, because, I mean, you're not saying this because you're saying this, because you're saying it because a lot of people are saying this as well. And one the challenge we face in Tottenham is that people always complain about Dave Lammy, right? And people come to me and I said, well, I don't really know the guy, you know what I mean, right? But what I find with Dave Lammy, that he doesn't seem to have time for the people there, right? He has time for his own personal career. And there's nothing wrong with that, just that he's not a people person. We have to be clear, he's not a people person. His heart